If you've ever thought, I am so behind in my PhD, I've got news for you. You're not. Every PhD researcher thinks they should be 5 steps ahead of where they actually are. You might see someone posting that selfie that they've submitted their PhD and think to yourself, oh, why can't that be me? That feels like that's so far off. But progress in a PhD is not linear. It's lumpy, it's back and forth, it's up and down, it's a roller coaster. And you're probably doing much better than you think. Today, I'm going to show you how to redefine progress, measure it realistically, and actually feel good about where you are in your PhD right now. Let's get into it. Let's start with the real villain here, and that is the myth that you're behind. Somewhere in every graduate school corridor, there's this mythical finish line, and everyone thinks they're running late to it. But that line is totally made up, because your PhD is a race that you essentially design whilst you're running it. Part-time, full-time, somewhere in between. And comparing your mid-chapter messy reality to somebody's shiny selfie at the end of their journey is like comparing your kitchen in the middle of getting a meal ready to their restaurant photo. So if you're in the habit of scrolling through X or TikTok or Insta, looking at other PhD researchers and thinking, they are miles ahead of me, here's what you need to remember. They are showing you their highlights on there, not the nights they cried into their literature review, not the meltdowns or the mammoth 12-hour analysis sessions where they just come to and realise that they haven't actually had a drink of water for 12 hours. The cancelled plans, the existential crises, they're not very Instagrammable. You are not behind, okay? You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. We've got to redefine what progress actually means. Progress isn't just words written or chapters written or data analysed. Progress is things like understanding your method better than you understood it this time last month. It's finishing that ethics form. Oh my goodness, that ethics form. Well done for finishing that. It's surviving feedback from your supervisor that was a bit direct and not melting down over it. All of the things that you do along the PhD journey that don't end up in your thesis, all of these things are part of that journey. All of these things are valid and should be celebrated. It all counts. It's all progress. So instead of asking yourself, how far have I still got to go? Ask yourself instead, what do I understand now that I didn't understand last week, last month, last year? If you only measure your progress by outputs or by thousands of words written, you're always going to feel behind. But when you include all that invisible work, the reading, the thinking, the redrafting, you realise that actually you've been moving all the way along. You've been making progress all the way through this journey. Next, use real benchmarks, not imaginary, idealistic, perfectionist ones. Your PhD journey is shaped by your context, your environment, your life. If you're a part-time PhD researcher, if you're working, if you're juggling your PhD with family life, then your journey is not going to look very much like the journey of the person who is on a fully funded bursary and their PhD is the only thing that they're doing. And that's okay. So think about all of the non-PhD things that you do in a week. Your job, caring for others, life admin. Now, given that, ask yourself, what would be a realistic amount of PhD progress in a week like that? That is your benchmark. You're not failing because you didn't write 2,000 words this week. You're succeeding because you are still showing up alongside all of the other stuff you've got going on. Progress isn't about how fast you hit particular milestones. It's about staying consistent enough to reach them in your own time and to keep your journey going at a sustainable pace. You've got to celebrate the small wins. Every PhD researcher that I come across underestimates how far they've come. They'll finish a task or get to the end of a process or reach a next stage, and they won't take the time to celebrate that. They'll just start stressing about the next thing. So stop and take a moment and just realise you did that, you achieved that thing, and you 12 months ago would actually be really proud of that. So when you get a win, celebrate that. Do something nice for yourself. Buy yourself a fancy coffee. Treat yourself to a Netflix binge. Because the more you recognise your progress and you celebrate it and you mark it, the more your brain will want to repeat that process. And like I said, by recognising your progress, you are conditioning your brain to want to repeat it. So this is actually a really good strategic move. Actually, let's pause for a second before I get on to the next thing, because I want to hear from you in the comments. What is making you feel behind in your PhD right now? Is it comparing yourself to others? Is it that you had in mind a particular word count and you've not hit that yet? Or is it just this never-ending treadmill to-do list? Drop it in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, if you want to support the channel, feel free to leave a tip in our tip jar. This helps us cover the cost of making these videos, and we appreciate every contribution that we get. Thank you very much. This one, I think, is my favourite. Measure progress backwards. As humans, we're kind of hardwired to focus on how much more we've got to do or how much further we've got to go. But real motivation actually comes from seeing how far you've travelled. Think back to this time last year. Now, look at yourself today. The papers you've read, the ideas you've shaped, the people you've connected with, the progress that you've made along your PhD journey. When you focus on how far you've come rather than how far you still got to go, you're moving away from that deficit model. You stop feeling behind and you actually start feeling proud of what you've achieved. And when you get that sense of pride, you feel reassured in your abilities to do more. So you make calmer, clearer decisions and you write better. So obviously looking forward is important because you've got a big thing that you want to do, a big thing you want to achieve. You want to get your PhD. But by appreciating how far you've come, that is only going to be a helpful thing for reaching that goal. You are not behind in your PhD. And in terms of how fast or how slow you're going, you are going at exactly the pace that you need to be going at. So take a deep breath, give yourself credit and keep going. Because you are doing so much better than you think. Popping up on your screen right now is another video you might enjoy if you like this one.